Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Waldrop Stadium for the sixth game in Homewood High School's season for 1991 and 92. I'm Barry Copeland, and along with Fred Morris, it's our pleasure to be bringing you the rebroadcast of this game tonight as Homewood is set to take on the Fairfield Tigers. It's the kind of game, Fred Morris, that coaches absolutely love to hate. Fairfield comes into the game with a record of 1-4, only one win on the season so far this year, and as we know, Homewood comes in 5-0, undefeated, with what would seem to be a much more powerful team than Fairfield. And yet, as Coach Mike Thorson told me just before the game, this is the one that could come back and catch you if you get a little bit lazy. However, the Patriots had an absolutely wonderful practice this week. Coach Gann was quoted in the press last week as saying they were about as good as they could be at this point in the season. So we look forward to an exciting game tonight. Before we tell you some of our stats coming into the game, Fred, what about Fairfield and the Fairfield Tigers?
The Fighting Tigers of Coach Glenn Thompson come into this game 1-4, as you said, but they have some weapons, especially on offense. Those of you watching tonight may remember last year's game. Seemingly out of hand, Fairfield went to a pass-oriented offense and scored 2 quick touchdowns and actually had Homewood concerned enough to put the first unit back in. They can throw the football. When they throw the ball, they'll be throwing to tight end to Haven Boone and their running back. That's Vashawn Godwin. He had a big night against Homewood last year. And also flanker number 11, Philip Williams, the quarterback, Robert Everhart, starting this year for the first time, but he can put the ball up.
Well, there you have a look at the night, and I think the captains who will go out to the center of the field are Robert Davis, starting from left to right. Robert Davis, Eric Rebels, Jonathan Hamaker. Glad to see him wearing 79 again this week. And number 11 is Brian Greer. Other captains are, as you can see there, are also out at midfield, and they are. Let's see if I can name them off here. 33 is Elvin Skipper. Number 20 is Jason Jones. Number 8 is E.J. Steele. 15 is the senior quarterback, Wes Steed. Number 24 is Alexander Adamson. Number 21 is Tamer Sabry. Tamer's seen a lot of time as a running back, as a senior running back this year. Number 50 is Mark Scholl. Number 31 is Darian Finley. Finley has seen a good bit of time in the backfield this year. Number 72 is Adam Reeves. Number 60 is Stanley Lee. 51, Dusty Smith. Number 71, Steve Carpenter. 48 is Lee Thompson. And number 5 is Kevin Harris. So those are your captains for tonight's game. Just a reminder that in the statistics department, Robert Davis comes into the game tonight with 1,036 yards on the 5-0 season. Robert has carried the ball 103 times for a 10.1 yard per carry rushing average.
Outstanding average, 10.1 yards per carry. And right behind Robert Davis is fullback Eric Moulton, averaging 7.9 yards per carry. He doesn't have near as many yards, but that average is still impressive for a sophomore fullback, Eric Moulton.
Well, I don't think they're down for this game. They have practiced all week like they're up for the game, and it's important to note, too, that the senior quarterback, Wes Steed, has 26 completions for 38 attempts this year. Wes brings a 684 completion percentage into the game, and he's passed for 9 touchdowns. Robert Davis has run for 10 touchdowns and has scored 62 total points. Before the kickoff, we're going to break away for just a second to let you hear from one of our sponsors. We'll be back with more after this.
South Trust Bank is pleased to support Homewood High School athletics and wishes the Patriot football team a winning season. Whether it's community service or quality service at one of our convenient offices, South Trust Bank is working harder for you.
Back at Waldrop Stadium here as the Fairfield Tigers get ready to kick it off to Homewood. Deep for the Patriots will be number 33, Elvin Skipper. Number 30, Robert Davis is in the middle, and Brian Greer on the away side. Homewood will receive to our left, and Fairfield will kick from right to left. Looks like number 31, Vashawn Godwin, will be the kicker for Fairfield. We'll set starting offensive and defensive lineups for you as we have a chance to during the game. Should be a game, knock on wood, that a lot of sophomores will get a chance to see some action in, Fred.
But this Homewood offense averaging better than 38 points a game, Fairfield will be hard-pressed to slow that offensive machine down tonight.
Here's the kick by Van Sean Godwin. It comes down to number 7, Michael Andrzejewski, and Michael takes it in at about the 40 and brings it up across the 45-yard line. So Homewood starts in absolutely excellent field position after a kickoff that doesn't go past Homewood's 40-yard line.
It looks as though Godwin might have topped the ball, didn't get 30 yards out of the kickoff. Homewood in very good position at their own 47-yard line, and the offense is in business.
Offensively for Homewood, Brian Greer split to the left, Andrzejewski to the right. The fullback is Eric Moulton, and Robert Davis, number 30, is the tailback. Here's 1st and 10, first play from scrimmage in this game against Fairfield, just underway. Wes will look to throw, and he overthrows Alexander Adamson out at about the 46-yard line. Andrzejewski was deep and wide open on that one.
And one of the better plays that Homewood has in their arsenal, using Davis as a decoy on the first play from scrimmage, and Wes has the option of throwing it short to Adamson or long to Brian Greer or Michael Andrzejewski.
Well, just underway here from Homewood, 2nd and 10 now, as Homewood works from just across its own 46-yard line. Here's the call from Steed. He'll give it to Davis right up the gut. Robert works his way up to just shy of the 50-yard line, maybe a gain of just a little bit under 4 yards. LaShawn Copeland, number 50. Copeland, the junior linebacker for Fairfield, to make the stop. Call it a gain of 3, bringing up 3rd and 7. The signal comes in from the sideline. First possession down for the Patriots. The give is to Davis. Met head on at the 50-yard line and stopped for no gain. It'll bring up a punting situation, and that puts some excitement on the Fairfield bench.
Big mistake, probably, especially to the people in the stands on the Homewood side, would be to underestimate this Fairfield team due to the lack of number of players they have. I believe we counted 30 players on their sideline, and not a big crowd following Fairfield to Walters Stadium tonight, but they have outstanding team speed. They don't have a lot of experience, but they do have good team speed.
Well, after the stop by Hudson, Wes Steed is back to kick. Good snap from Eric Rebels, and Wes gets the punt away. It'll come down, and Fairfield will let it roll at about just inside the 20-yard line. Call it the 19, so Fairfield goes in business at its own 19-yard line. 31-yard punt for Wes Steed. Defensively for Homewood. Dusty Smith starts at a defensive end. Hammaker and Coggins are the tackles. Rebels, the linebacker. Eugene Sharp at the other linebacker position, and also Lee Thompson. Henry Walburn, number 2, is a rover. Elvin Skipper and Alexander Adamson are the corners, and Brian Greer is the free safety. First play from scrimmage for Fairfield, a pass complete to Philip Williams. Complete, but I don't believe it gained much, Fred. Maybe a half a yard.
Not much yardage at all. Williams out of the backfield on a swing pass. He gets around Rebels, he's got some yardage, but Eric, a very sure tackler. I guess that's indicative of the Fairfield game plan tonight. After watching the films, I'm not sure they believe they can run on Coach Thorson's defense, but they feel confident they can pass.
Coming into this game, we had Robert Everhart as the quarterback wearing number 6. The quarterback on the field is wearing number 10. We'll try and get that straightened out for you. At any rate, here's the give to the running back, and he's across the 20-yard line to maybe the 22. So stopped by Hammaker right up the middle and assisted by Lee Thompson. Fairfield has changed some numbers coming into this game tonight, and we don't have a whole lot of them, so we'll do the best we can. Most of our viewers, Fred, are probably interested in numbers that are on red jerseys tonight anyway, right? Movement on the line looks like it's going to be probably a legal procedure against Fairfield. We'll see to be sure.
And unfortunately for DeHaven Boone, we have his number. DeHaven Boone taking off in front of the snap.
First penalty of the game for Fairfield. That's their first 5 yards is the mark-off. That'll bring up 3rd and about 11 now. the line of scrimmage back close to the 18. As Homewood contains Fairfield in its first set of down. Sort of a quiet, inauspicious beginning to this game.
Very much so. Fairfield coming on, completing the pass for no yardage and then trying to running on it.
Pass over the middle. Into and out of the hands of Eric Riebel. Eric almost had that pass intercepted, and Homewood would have been in business then at about the 25-yard line.
The type of situation Coach Thorson wants to put Fairfield in, third and long yardage. He knows Fairfield's not afraid to put the ball up. And just like that, Eric Riebel has an interception. That's the type of situation Coach Thorson wants to put the Tigers in tonight.
Dusty Smith just absolutely flattened their quarterback, Everhart. And so Fairfield in punt formation. DeHaven Boone punting for Fairfield. Davis and Greer back. The punt is away, but no flag, no roughing the punter penalty that I can see. Homewood lets it roll, and it'll go out of bounds right at the 50-yard line at midfield. Fairfield wanted a roughing the punter call on that one, as several of our guys got back to the punter, but no flags fly, and so Homewood in excellent field position.
It looks as though someone might have gotten a hand on the ball or touched the ball in some way. If you touch the ball, it's no foul.
Good rush on the part of Alexander Adamson, Eugene Sharp, and Elvin Skipper. Now there is a flag on the far side of the field as the Fairfield coaches are protesting, I guess, the lack of a roughing the punter call. The coaches definitely said something, and a flag was thrown at the Fairfield bench, but I'm not sure what the call is. Let's see. Unsportsmanlike conduct is the call against Fairfield. So from the 50, they'll mark off 15 big ones. And the Patriots go in business now with a first down at the Tiger 35.
Really an unfortunate situation for the Fairfield team, where their coaches simply blew off some steam instead of asking the official for an explanation why there was no penalty. They have a procedure set up for just that situation. Unfortunately, the Fairfield coaches simply exploded and said something that the official took offense to.
Weststeed to pass. The pass is complete to Greer. Greer into and out of the hands of the defender. Bryant now past the 20, 10, 5. Out of bounds at about the 6-yard line. As he danced along the sideline, we thought he had a score, but apparently out of bounds at the 6, run out by Rodriguez Powell, the junior defensive back for Fairfield. But Homewood in fine working position now inside the 10-yard line.
Here we see it again, Greer catching the ball cleanly, getting away from the tackle, moving down. There are only two men with actually a chance to catch him. Number 10, Everhart knocks him out of bounds.
All right, Homewood first and 10 now, from just shy of the 5-yard line. Here's Steed with the pitch to Davis. He can get some blocking. He'll go in. He walks it in. So you can put 6 on the board for Homewood with 7:42 remaining in the first quarter. Homewood strikes first blood against Fairfield.
Here we go again. Watch the blocking on the left side of your line. Steve Carpenter, Alexander Adamson, center is clearing out everyone. Davis walking into the end zone with 6 points. How many times have we seen that this year?
For the extra point, Eric Rebels is the snapper. Ryan Greer holds it. Weststeed will attempt it. High snap from center, but West gets it up. And the kick is good. So with 7:42 remaining in the first quarter, time is out on the field, and Homewood takes this early 7-0 lead over Fairfield. Really unfortunate, Fred, for the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, because that put Fairfield in a hole, and then 1 or 2 quick runs, and 1 pass and 1 quick run, and that was just about the story of the drive.
It's been the character of this Homewood team this year to simply go for the knockout punch. A 15-yard penalty, possibly the defensive players from Fairfield are still thinking about the penalty when Brian Greer catches a flanker screen or a flanker out pass and goes to the 6-yard line. By the time they know what's hit them, Robert Davis is standing in the end zone, 6-0 Homewood. This team has exhibited a character where let's go ahead and knock them out and take care of business, and they're doing that tonight.
Congratulations to the Homewood Patriot band, the color guard, and the Star Spangled Girls for all ratings of 1 at the Gadsden High School marching competition last week. They put on a superior performance. Here's the kickoff from Wes Steed. Wes puts his foot into it. Let's see if he gets it into the end zone. Yes, indeed, into the end zone, and that allows no run back in high school football rules. So once again, Homewood doesn't have to worry about a return on the kickoff, and Fairfield will go into business at about the 20-yard line. And Sean Godwin was deep for Fairfield, but didn't really have an option.
One of the outstanding features of this Homewood team is their special teams. Special teams coach Rip Harmon, very pleased with their play so far. Punt return early in the season for a touchdown, and they've been just a play or two away in each of the last 4 games from breaking one loose.
Well, here's Fairfield to see if they can get it going. First and 10 from their own 20-yard line. The quarterback again, we believe, is Robert Everhart. Everhart wants to give to the tailback. That's Rodney Abernathy, and Abernathy absolutely nowhere to go. The play failed again on that one. Jonathan Hamaker looks like possibly on the stop, and also Dusty Smith. Lee Thompson, I know, was in on that as well. So the Homewood defensive line combining again, gang tackling. I believe I read earlier this week, Fred, they've allowed 1 score in the first half of play against the 5 opponents they've had so far this year, and that came with 31 seconds remaining in the half at Irwin, I believe was the score. Flags fly again. Looks like we may have again an illegal motion or illegal procedure penalty against Fairfield. It looked to me like the split end jumped before the snap.
Missed the snap count and headed for the line of scrimmage. Official blew it dead. You're absolutely right with those comments on the defense. Quietly, this Homewood defense is having an outstanding year. The guys in the middle, Eric Rebels, Lee Thompson, having just an outstanding year, quietly playing great football in the center.
Here's a good shot of Rip Harmon.
Special teams coach gets fired up about 3rd down and really gets going on 4th down each time.
Fairfield now penalized 3 times for 25 yards. Here's the give to their tailback. Again, it's number 21. I believe it was 21, Rodney Abernathy. Hard to see the numbers on those white jerseys, but what's important is the stop was made by Dusty Smith and Lee Thompson. As they try that off-tackle play, I think they're going to find it's not working too well for them tonight.
Now, this is a veteran squad. This Homewood defense, Coach Thorson, keeps them finely tuned, especially a game where some people would consider Fairfield a cakewalk. Coach Thorson told the guys this week, this is the type of team that can sneak up on you.
Here's the pitch back. It's Rodney Abernathy, and Abernathy stopped short of the line of scrimmage by Eugene Sharp on the far side of the field. That should bring up 4th down and a punting situation again for Fairfield. Shane Davis checking out for Homewood. Robert Davis checking in, and Robert will drop back. Fairfield's last punt was only good for about 30 yards, and we'll have to see what happens on this one now, whether Homewood has the rush or the return on this time. Like they're bringing everybody they got. Well, 1 or 2 drop back. This time it goes over Robert's head. He'll take it in right at about the 45-yard line. Try to make that turn, but absolutely nowhere to go. Fairfield, a good job of coverage on the kick. Philip Williams with the tackle, primary tackle for the Tigers.
Strong rush on the punt that time. On the next punt, look for Coach Harmon to implement his returns. They've gotten close a couple of times with the rainbow-type snap from center to the kicker, Williams. Coach Harmon thinking they can get a block out of it. They've been close twice, yet haven't gotten to the ball yet. So look for him to go to the return on the next punt.
Davis only dropped back about 25 yards that time to receive that punt, and it went a little bit over his head. Time is out on the field. The clock is now stopped with 5:05 remaining in the first quarter, and the Tigers are going to take a timeout. Good time to remind the folks, Fred, to stay with us at halftime for a performance by the band. We look forward to just a super performance by the Homewood Patriot Marching Band. They did an excellent job in Gadsden. I was privileged to go up there and watch them. And again, they received all superior ratings or ones in that competition that featured some of the finest bands from literally all over the state.
Right.
Tell you what, we've got a timeout for a water break. Let's take a quick break ourselves. We'll be right back after this from one of our sponsors, and we'll remind you that you're watching Homewood Patriot Football.
It's Piggly Wiggly Food Stores for quality foods, friendly service, and fair prices. You'll find a wide selection of the freshest seasonal produce brought in daily, and the finest heavy Western USDA choice beef, and of course, plump, fresh-cut chickens never frozen. And Piggly Wiggly serves hot, fresh deli foods of the finest quality served up daily, the next best thing to home cooking. And Piggly Wiggly Food Stores are proud of our friendly people serving your needs in Mountain Brook, Homewood. It's Piggly Wiggly, the finest food stores around.
Back to live action at Waldrop Stadium as Homewood takes over 1st and 10 from its own 48. The give to Eric Moulton takes the ball out across the 50 to the 45 and inside the 45 to about the 46-yard line. Finally stopped and dragged down by Vanshon Godwin. Homewood's about to get its running game in gear now with 4:47 remaining in the first quarter.
Eric Moulton, again, like Lee Thompson on defense, quietly becoming a force on offense, averaging better than 7.5 yards per carry, almost 8 yards for Eric Moulton.
That was a gain of 9. The line of scrimmage, the 43 of the Tigers. So they look at 2nd and 1 now. Steed will pass. He looks shallow and well overthrown. West lucky to get that one off after a big rush by Marcus Hudson, the defensive end for Fairfield, just absolutely blew through unchecked.
Looks as though Brian Greer crossed him up on the pattern or some miscommunication there. West thinking Brian's going to run an out pattern. Brian coming in on a curl type look-in pattern, and West simply throwing to the spot. Brian wasn't there.
He was lucky to get that one off. Marcus Hudson was absolutely right in his face. West went down flat on his back. So it brings up 3rd and 1, short yardage situation. Anticipate the give to Davis. Davis hits a wall at the tackle position, but works his way across the 40, first down yardage and more. Finally wrestled out of bounds by a host of Fairfield Tigers at about the 39-yard line. Good running by Robert. He absolutely ran into a wall at the line of scrimmage and finally found his way forward for about 6 yards. Again, Vanshon Godwin.
Now, right, helping out on that wall for Fairfield, LaShawn Copeland stuffing the middle of that time, forcing Davis to outside. Got his first down, but he had to work to get it.
You know, homecoming is a time where all the alums come back, and we've seen a number of alums in the stands tonight. I hope they're enjoying the game, and maybe they're enjoying this replay as Alexander Adamson comes in motion to the right, but the give is to Davis. Davis off left tackle, but works his way out across the right side, still on his feet. Finally, they bring it down at about the 31-yard line. I hope we've got an instant replay on that. Yeah, we should see it in just a second here. Robert Ghostin making the stop. Watch this run by Davis.
Watch the moves he puts on these players. There's 2. There's another. Finally, the 3rd. It takes 3 to bring down Robert Davis. Using moves now he didn't use last year, playing with great confidence.
17-yard run by Robert Davis. The line of scrimmage to 22 now as Homewood with another first down. Flags are flying. Some would predict offsides Fairfield. We'll just have to see. You know, I was mentioning the alums who are coming back. There you see the encroachment indication against Fairfield. Noticed Brooke Dill in the class. She was president of the freshman class this year at Samford University and a graduating senior last year from Homewood. Glad to see Brooke back. I'm sure there are many others in the stands tonight. First and 5 now for the Patriots. They move from about the 18-yard line. Here's the pitch to Davis. Robert looking for blocking. Flags flew. He crossed the goal line. We'll have to see what the flag is. Could be holding.
Looks as though the flag flew well downfield where Michael Andrzejewski was blocking on one of the secondary people. It looks as though they're going to call that block a clip on number 7, Michael Andrzejewski.
Well, after the clipping penalty, that'll bring it out to the 21-yard line. And that should bring up what would that be, a 2nd and 9 or 1st and 9? 1st and 9 as the signal comes in. West Steed gets the signal. So 1st and a long 8, I guess we'll call it. Homewood works again to try and cross that goal line one more time. Eric Moulton with the ball, hard running off left tackle. Finally stopped by Vanshawn Godwin. Godwin's got most of the tackling chore tonight for Fairfield.
Mose Williams giving him some help that time, but again, Eric Moulton getting good yardage over the left side of the line there. Eric Rebels, Jonathan Hammaker opening some big holes for the defense, for the offensive backfield Homewood.
Good to see Carson Thompson on the chain crew tonight. Don't pull that chain so tight, Carson. This would be 2nd and about 3 now. Steed will pass. Oh, just out in front of Michael Andrzejewski. Just a foot in front of him, and Michael would have been in the end zone. Defending on the play was Rodriguez Powell from Fairfield, but that'll bring up 3rd down and still about 3 for the Patriots as they seek to move it in. 2:15 now remaining in the first quarter.
So far, this Fairfield defense playing very well in the first quarter. So far this year, as we were talking earlier, this Homewood offense has been putting big numbers on the board all season long in the first quarter.
Let's see what they do then on 3rd and 3. The line is scrimmaged right at the 15-yard line. Here's the pitch to Davis. Robert met head on. Vanshawn Godwin, number 31, met Mr. Robert Davis head on. They get up and part company friends for the moment. Tough tackle, and that brings up a 4th down possession play for the Patriots.
Right, the key to that play that time, Rodney Abernathy forcing the play back inside where Vanshawn Godwin was waiting for Robert Davis. Abernathy making the play for Fairfield on that one.
Well, they called timeout to take a measurement, so we will see if it indeed is a 4th down. Looks like 4th down in just inches. Call is in from the sideline, and Homewood, it appears, will go for it. Thought they might try a field goal from this distance, but I think the confidence is such that, especially in that offensive line, that they'll go for it. Clock moves now with 1:40 remaining in the first quarter. Here's the call from Steve. The pitch to Davis. Oh, yes, 1st down and more. Inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line. LaShawn Copeland on the stop, but not before 1st down yardage is achieved. And Homewood then with 1st and goal from about the 8. Make it the 9. Just inside the 9-yard line, 1st and goal. It's sort of quiet so far. Not a whole lot of activity on our sidelines. Not a whole lot of activity on the Fairfield sidelines. See if we can stir things up a little bit. Here's the give to Moulton. Straight ahead. Touchdown Homewood. Great straight-ahead running by the sophomore fullback, Eric Moulton. Here it is again.
Watch the second effort from Eric Moulton. He's hit at the 5-yard line and takes 2 Fairfield Tigers into the end zone with him. Eric Moulton, another 6 points for Homewood, and the offense is operating now.
Yes, indeed. He knew exactly where the goal line was, and he kept going until he crossed that plane. Good blocking by Jason Zarzer, playing at the center position that time. Actually, the whole line, but Jason really knocked his man down. Here's Rebels to snap it. Greer to hold it. Steed will attempt the point after. Looks like a fake, and West throws it. Complete to Alexander Adamson for the 2-point conversion. I think they just wanted to try that one out, it looks like. So with timeout on the field, we've got 1:10 remaining in the first quarter, and Homewood takes a 15-0 lead over the Fairfield Tigers. Take a look at that again.
Here we go, the 2-point conversion. Alexander Adamson out to practice early. Alex was covered, had another man deep in the end zone. Well conceived plan. 15-0 Homewood.
Good two-point conversion. Good shot of some of the fans. Was that Sally Wright? I thought I saw Sally. Nikki Wright is the head coach at Homewood Middle School, and that's Sally going down through the stands. Fred, it was an 8-play drive, covering 52 yards and taking 3:54 off the clock. So it's still 1:10 to play in the first quarter as Homewood gets set to kick it again. They lead Fairfield 15-0. Here's the kick by Steve. Strong boot. Touchback. Cornell Davis took it in, ready to run it out, but no go. So yet another kick from the senior quarterback, Wes Steve, that will not be returned.
And if you weren't with us on Friday night when this game was played, coming up on halftime, we have a replay from the Patriot band, probably some shots of the homecoming floats, first, second, third, and fourth place. I believe we can get Dudley to give us all a shot of those floats the students have worked long and hard to put together.
Good statistic here, but I'll hold it for one play. Let's see what Fairfield does offensively. They're first down at their own 20. Here's Everhart, the quarterback. The give is to 21, Rodney Abernathy, and he goes absolutely nowhere. Check this out, Fred. Fairfield's possessions in this game have been the 19, the 20, and the 20-yard line as they start deep in their own territory each time. Homewood has had possession at the 47, the 50, and the 48. That in itself can make a big difference in a football game.
In a game like this, where Homewood is confident of the outcome, Fairfield really with nothing to lose, you want to keep Fairfield on their end of the field. The odds of Fairfield driving 80, 85 yards for a touchdown against an outstanding Homewood defense aren't very good.
Well, it is an outstanding defense. Fairfield has total offense of 3 yards in this game so far. Here's the pass, and I believe it's complete. They wrestled for it at the 31-yard line, but they're going to rule it complete. Greer was defending on the play. I did not get the number of the receiver. Looked like, was it 43, DeHaven Boone?
In the tight end position, DeHaven Boone, slight delay, sneaking out, and the ball was thrown high. Boone, very tall, 6'3", simply went up and got it.
There's a good shot of the floats you were talking about. This is homecoming after all, and we'll have the Queen in her court at halftime. Right now, it's back to action. I believe that also is the first down for the Tigers. Here's the pitch back to Abernathy. Caught from behind, still on his feet as he fights forward to regain to about the 30-yard line, but Michael Coggin was having nothing of it. So as the quarter stops, Fairfield will look at second and still 10. We'll take time out to hear from one of our sponsors and remind you that you're watching Homewood Patriot football.
Aren't you glad it's Friday?
Yeah.
All ready for the vacation?
Yeah.
Bags packed?
Yeah.
Reservations made?
Yeah.
Got the traveler's checks?
Traveler's checks? Traveler's checks.
You forgot the traveler's check?
Yeah.
We bank at Central.
Yeah.
We can just get them tomorrow.
Central has full-service Saturday banking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Central Bank. Unlike other banks, our prime interest is you.
Now back to live action. As we change the quarters, if you're just joining us, it's 15-0 Homewood over Fairfield. And as you can see across the way, Fairfield didn't bring a whole lot of support with them.
Not tonight, not across town.
We got a full stadium on this side. But I'll tell you something, Fairfield's been surprisingly strong. Let's see what they get going as Everhart works from his own 30-yard line. Pass was incomplete and batted down by a host of rushers. I saw Eugene Sharp, also Jonathan Hammaker back there. Hammaker wearing the more traditional 79 jersey this week and not the 63 that he wore last week.
Found out he actually switched jerseys last week due to an equipment problem. The officials would not let him wear his regular jersey 79, which was split down the middle too much. He tried to lace it up with laces, but the referees just would not let him play with that type of equipment. They said it was dangerous, so he ended up wearing number 63, and the outcome was the same. Another outstanding performance for Jonathan Hamaker against Vestavia Hills.
Here's Everhart looking on 2nd and 10. He looks to throw, but pressured. One almost got him. Pressured by Lee Thompson. Finally hit by Dusty Smith and by Elvin Skipper, and Lee Thompson had run out of bounds at about the 31-yard line. You know, Fred, Homewood has a total so far of 105 yards of total offense, and Fairfield came away with 13 in the first quarter. Robert Davis, 8 rushing attempts for 48 yards. His average off a little bit, but I know a lot of college tailbacks who'd love to have a 6-yard rushing average per carry.
That time, Everhart getting no help from his receivers as he was rushed and out of the pocket by Carpenter and Dusty Smith, Lee Thompson, the rest of the guys. His receivers continued downfield, did not give him any help. When the quarterback is rushed out of the pocket, you need to come back and give him a target to throw to.
The third punt for Fairfield as they face 4th and about 9. The punt is away. A short punt, end over end. It comes down just shy of the 50 and rolls across the 50. It'll be down finally at about the Homewood 47-yard line, down by Alfred Hudson, but there was no way Greer or Davis, either one, were about to touch that.
I've got to think that's an outstanding average for Homewood rushing the punt, if in fact they're getting a hand on the ball each time, because they are just laying waste to the punter from Fairfield for the last 3 kicks. No penalty.
A 21-yard punt for Fairfield. That puts Homewood in business just over the 50-yard line in Fairfield territory. Second quarter just underway. Steed fakes to Davis. He'll throw into and out of the hands of Alexander Adamson at the 45-yard line. West was pressured that time. Fairfield getting a good rush off.
Very dangerous.
Everhart, I guess, the quarterback.
Everhart was out there along with number 43, DeHaven Boone. A very dangerous pass that time by Adamson. He tipped the ball up, and Everhart, I believe, got a hand on it. He catches the ball. There's nothing between him and the goal line.
Good shot of Coach Thorson on the sideline. He's talking to his defense like they're playing the Chicago Bears and letting them know what may be down the road for them. Coach told me before the game they practiced well this week. They practiced with high enthusiasm, like they were facing a tough team. And that's the way to practice every week. Here's Steve, and then on second. Whoa, out to practice early was Alexander Adamson, 5-10, touchdown. He had 4 steps on the nearest defender.
A delay by Adamson simply down the center of the field. Here we go again. Watch Adamson release from the line of scrimmage. He's simply streaking down the center of the field. Linebacker possibly supposed to cover him or a safety. No one ever picked him up. Everhart making an attempt at the goal line. Alexander Adamson, another touchdown for Homewood.
I believe he turned 360 degrees to catch that ball. That was a new formation that we have not seen so far this year. I'm not sure exactly what they call that formation.
They spread the defense all the way across the field that time and created some confusion in the defensive backfield for Fairfield. Successfully, Adamson going the distance for another touchdown for Homewood.
Well, the extra point attempt by West Steed is good following the completed pass from Steed to Adamson. So, time is out on the field. 11:22 remaining in the first half of play. And Homewood takes a 22-0 lead over the Fairfield Tigers. There's a good shot at the stands. Filled to pretty much capacity on the Homewood side of the field for this homecoming 1991. And another good shot of the cheerleaders who keep things alive for us.
This crowd, I believe, just like the football team, is improving, getting better as the season goes on. As you're walking through the crowd tonight to get to the press box, you can feel an electricity in here. They're ready to continue the season and get on to the playoffs, but you don't want to move too fast. You don't want to start thinking playoffs right now. There's still a difficult road game coming up in Oxford, Alabama.
Next week in Oxford, we take on Oxford in a critical away game. Steed boots it. It'll come down into the end zone, and that's another touchback for Homewood. So each time they've kicked off tonight, there has been no run back from Fairfield. You know, while they set it up to start on the 20-yard line, Fred, let me remind folks, we try to keep them up to date on scores in other sports and in other schools in the Homewood system. The middle school took it on a chin last night, 27-13, a tough loss to a good Gresham middle school team. The Homewood Middle School Patriots now with a 4-2 record on this season. We'll try to give you some other scores as we come to time to do that, but right now let's talk about Fairfield. First down at the 20. The quarterback stumbles, pressured, dragged down by Shane Davis for a loss of probably 1 or 2 yards. Which is almost like a busted play.
It was a busted play that time. Everhart coming to the right side, a tackle pulling to come with him. Looks as though a running back, possibly Godwin or Williams, went the wrong way and really just hung Everhart out to dry.
Fairfield now with its second timeout, maybe getting signal straight here. Homewood takes a timeout. Fairfield just not able to mount any real offensive threat. Played some high moments on defense, some good defensive looks.
And they had some success when they took a shorter drop on their pass play. They had a complete pass to Haven Boone, the tight end. Short drops, short patterns also, because they're not having much success holding out the likes of Hamaker, Shane Davis, Michael Coggin, Lee Thompson, those guys. They're really not having much success. Perhaps that's what they're talking over here in this timeout.
While we've got timeout, let's take a quick break and let you hear from another of our sponsors, and we'll remind you that you're watching Homewood Patriot Football.
This is the place where winners and losers are made. What does it take to be a winner? According to one well-known football coach, it begins with a great game plan, followed by excellent practice habits, and then the players must accept the game plan. In order to become a winner in life, we must accept God's game plan. We do that by accepting Jesus Christ as our Savior and Lord. I'm Gary Fenton, pastor of Dawson Memorial Baptist Church, inviting you to become a winner in life.
We're back to live action, and all you missed was one little bitty 2-yard run to stop by Dusty Smith after Rodney Abernathy tried to take it right up the middle. Actually, it didn't make 2 yards. Just over the 20 and about the 21. So 3rd and 9 now is the down and distance. See what Fairfield does in the possession down, 3rd down. He ran into his own back, Everhart, the quarterback, and he finally gets out across the 20, maybe to the 21. Shane Davis grabbed his jersey and pulled him down. Fairfield, just before that series, had 8 rushes and 8 yards, which makes it easy to compute the average, but not a whole lot of fun if you're wearing purple and gold.
Not very much, but it also puts them in good company because Vestavia, Hills, Irwin, some of the other opponents Homewood has faced this year they have not fared much better against this defense. Coach Thorson, as you said, keeps them fired up all the time as if they're playing the Chicago Bears, and tonight they're playing like the Chicago Bears.
Fairfield now in punting position, deep for the Patriots. Davis on the far side of the field and Greer to the near side. The last punt was only a 19-yard punt. This one will go a little bit further. Robert takes it in. Trips. See if it'll go out of bounds. Looks like Fairfield may have fallen on it. So a big break for the Tigers as Davis, running forward to get the short punt, slips on the wet grass, and Philip Williams for Fairfield falls on the ball, and the Tigers go into business now on the Homewood 45, maybe 44-yard line.
Big break for the Tigers that time. It gives their offense some momentum. Unfortunately, the biggest offensive play of the night for Fairfield has been their punting team, but they do have the best field position of the night.
I tell you, no one hates that worse than Robert Davis. A crisp, cool evening for football, but that means, too, that the dew sets early. I believe we've got motion on that Fairfield line. We'll see what the call is, but I believe it was the left end or left tackle that moved. So they'll bring it back 5 yards. That'll make the line of scrimmage the 49-yard line, bring up 1st and 15. So Fairfield with 9 minutes remaining in the half, trying to get something started against a tough Homewood Patriot team. Here's Everhart, looks to throw, airs it out with all he's got. Greer runs under it. Nope. He almost had it. Almost had it. Good effort, Brian. Everhart threw it just about as far as he could throw it. And Everhart's taking a long time to get up following a blitz by the Homewood defense. They were literally all over him, and Fred, he threw it about as hard as he could throw it.
As far as he could throw it, they were, as you said, all over him. He couldn't step forward. He had to throw the ball off his back foot and still got 35, 40 yards on it. Brian Greer, unfortunately, the closest man to it, couldn't come up with it.
He looks like a new quarterback for the Tigers, number 14, Zachary Humphrey. Let Mr. Everhart get straightened out a little bit. He took a hard hit that time, and we certainly hope he's all right. Here's Humphrey on the give to the tailback, Rodney Abernathy. And Abernathy finds a little bit of running room, but not much. Stopped pretty much at the line of scrimmage by Eric Riebel. Also, Hamaker and Thompson in on the stop. That's front three.
Again, Fairfield's faced with a third and long yardage. Look for Homewood to come with a blitz of some sort. Eric Riebels or Thompson, someone coming up the middle, putting some pressure with Coggin and Shane Davis coming from the outside.
Fumble in the backfield by the Fairfield quarterback, Humphrey. He falls on it, but that'll push him back even further, and that'll bring up a fourth down situation, and they'll have to punt it away. Good rush that time by Riebels. With Zachary Humphrey, the new quarterback in for Fairfield, and Humphrey is a freshman according to the program. A freshman playing in this game after Everhart left after being sacked. So Homewood sends Davis and Greer back deep. They'll be around their own 30-yard line. In the midst of that play, flags fly. We'll have to see what the call is. Our spotter, Larry Wygan, says it's a snap infraction. Something I thought happened in front of your blue jeans, but I'm not sure. We'll have to see. That's the center moving back and forth or rocking before he snaps it. It's a 5-yard penalty at any rate, but it's against Homewood, so Wygan will be leaving the booth now. Larry, we'll see you later.
But he is absolutely right. That center at that time, a different type of snap than we're used to this evening from Fairfield. Instead of an end-over-end type snap, you see
That's what Coach Thorson is explaining to the referee.
The center putting a spiral on it for the first time tonight in order to get that type of speed on the ball, had to send rock forward and back instead of the end-over-end we're used to. You see Coach Thorson demonstrating the referee. And Homewood is much quicker than the center, and he put the ball back to the punter, but Homewood was already into the neutral zone by the time he got the snap off. See Coach Thorson explaining it to his defensive squad now.
Well, I think Coach thought that might have been what the flag was.
Depending on where you sit, it probably should have been because of the movement of the center, not just his hands or anything else. His whole body moved forward, then back, enough to give Homewood, the interior lineman anyway, the go sign. And they were already across the line of scrimmage by the time the ball left the center's hands.
Unfortunately, that's the part of the play that the referee called the penalty on. So after the 5-yard penalty, it still brings up, let's set down a distance. Looks like 4th and about 17. 4th and 17. So Fairfield will obviously still punt.
Coach Thorson moving down to the line of scrimmage to get a good look at the snap from center this time.
I believe, Fred, the referee went back and warned the Fairfield team about that.
Watch the center carefully. We'll see if he does it again or if he uses the end over end.
A little bit better, and the punt is away. It'll come down to Davis. Robert takes it in at about the 30 to 25. He gets away from 1, 2, right up the middle. If he's got the speed, he can go. He's got one man to beat.
And it's all coming back.
Good block by Elvin Skipper. And Robert Davis takes that punt, returned all the way back to a score.
For the first time tonight, however, Barry, I believe they're going to call roughing the kicker. Referee threw the flag about the time the punt went off, and this time someone did run into the kicker without getting the ball.
Well, that's the flag that you see there, and it looks like indeed, Fred, as you say, it'll be called back. It is a roughing the kicker penalty. I understand we have a look at that on instant replay. Guys, if you can give that to us on instant replay, let's take a look at it again and see if we can see whether he was blocked into it or not.
And it would appear tonight, at least on this kick, this is the least damage the Homewood defense has done to the punter so far tonight.
Let's take a look at it and see exactly how that block occurred.
This is they're coming from the outside. Simply got him before his foot got on the ground, on his second foot.
So Fairfield now is in business. 1st and 10, the line of scrimmage about the 36 of Homewood. Long pass. Elvin Skipper has intercepted the ball, but he's dragged down at about the 8-yard line. So Homewood has the ball, and they'll go into business at the 8-yard line. I thought for a minute Elvin might have been hurt. We do have that one on replay, too, and we'll take a look at it just in a second here. Henry Walburn really got the quarterback that time right as he released it. Watch him coming from the outside. Grabbed his foot. The pass a little short. Elvin takes it in. Unfortunately, slips at about the 8-yard line.
That time the true freshman in the game again for Fairfield, Zachary Humphrey, throwing it as far as he could throw to Billy Moore, simply not far enough, and Elvin Skipper comes up with another interception for the defensive secondary for the Patriots.
Homewood probably with its worst possession start of the game. They're deep in their own territory. 6:15, though, remaining in the half. Plenty of time to establish a long drive. Here's a give to Davis. Davis works it out of bounds at about the 18-yard line after a good run. Almost enough for the first down. Good point Larry Wigan just made when Robert runs off left tackle. He's running over the blocking of Kip Cowan, and also John Whitten is in the game right now wearing number 76. Strong blocking on the left side of that offensive line. Single tailback. The give to Darian Finley, the first man through, and Finley at about the 20-yard line, finally brought down, but I believe it's plenty for a first down. Must have been second in just inches. So the gain of 4 now to the 22.
Again, Homewood content to run the ball, run Davis, run Moulton, Eric Steed, make that West Steed keep the ball, little short passes, chew up some clock. We have some players rotating in now. Darian Finley in the backfield as Coach Gann starts to rotate players on offense.
Finley in the fullback position. Davis right behind him. Straight up the middle. He's got one man to beat. How much speed does he have? Pursued by number 25 of Fairfield, who's awfully fast, but he can't get to Robert in time, and you can put another 6 on the board, and I don't see a flag this time, Cole.
No flag this time, just outstanding blocking and good field vision by Robert Davis. A pitch sweep, he cuts it back. Watch it here as he takes the sweep, takes the pitch from West Steed, cuts it up. The pursuit overruns the play. He's got one man to beat, number 42. Number 25 is chasing him. That's Billy Moore. A lot of speed there, but not enough to catch Robert Davis.
78-yard run from scrimmage for Robert Davis. Davis now with 136 yards on the night as he just put on the afterburners and left the rest of the guys in the dust. Here's West Steed's kick. It's good. 5:47 remains in the first half. Homewood now leads Fairfield by the score of 29-0. I know Robert feels good. That's really his first good long breaker of the night that hasn't been called back.
It was, and he had good field vision to see it open up as he took the pitch from West Steed. The pursuit of the defense went to the sideline. The offside offensive line walled off. Whitten, Stanley Lee doing a good job blocking.
Also in on that, was it 85 that was in Brian Anderson?
Brian Anderson, that's right. Walling off the offside, letting the defense pursue to the sidelines, opened it up to the center of the field. Davis saw it, and in a snap, cut up field, took it all away.
There are 3 guys who play both ways, and they're side by side on that offensive line. Eric Rebels, Jonathan Hammaker, and Alexander Adamson. Sometimes they rotate in, though, Kip Cowan and John Whitten and Brian Anderson, and they were in on that one. And so give credit where credit's due to opening up those holes, and Robert Davis then did the rest. Here's the kick. Steed kicks and it takes it in at about the 1-yard line, so Fairfield gets a chance to return it. Van Sean Godwin is the runner and still on his feet out to about the 28-yard line, perhaps.
Barry, you got to like Van Sean Godwin that time. Standing on his own 1-yard line rather than catching the kickoff against his body as most players do, or cradling the catch. He wanted to run the kickback so badly, he reached over his head on the 1-yard line to get the ball where he didn't have to step in the end zone. He would have an opportunity to run back the kickoff.
Interesting shot on the Homewood sidelines down to our left. If we can get a shot of it, we'll take it for you in just a moment. As Fairfield works from its own 28-yard line, Abernathy takes it out across the 30. The 9th grade team for Homewood is invited to stand on the sidelines at Homewood, and all the guys who play on that 9th grade team, they're the ones that we'll be talking about in years to come, Fred.
That's right, a very outstanding team, a lot of talent there.
They're standing, I guess, at about the 25-yard line to our left, and I can't identify them because they don't have their numbers on. But those are the kids who will be playing varsity ball for Homewood in the next 3 to 4 years. Still no going for Fairfield right up the middle.
There are the guys talking it over at the 25-yard line.
That 9th grade team took a 20-14 loss to Tarrant last night on the road. They've got a 4-1 record, though, for the year, and there's some outstanding athletes on that team, so we look forward to working with those guys in the years to come as they take over and wear these red jerseys that we're looking at tonight. Fairfield just can't get it going so far. 3rd and about 6 now. Give us to the tailback, number 20, Cornell Davis. He can't go anywhere. Stopped at about the 31-yard line. Hammaker on the stop that time.
Everhart must be hurt worse than we thought earlier, Barry. Again, the true freshman, Zachary Humphrey, in at quarterback again, has been very ineffective so far, whereas Everhart did have some success with a short pass and at least taking a snap from center. Humphrey just having all sorts of trouble.
I can see Everhart standing on the far sideline, so it appears he is all right, but he's just not back in the game. At any rate, the 6th punt for Fairfield. Brian Greer, the single setback. That punt straight up in the air, no rush that time to speak of, and the ball will come down and be downed at about the 49-yard line of Homewood. So once again, the Patriots were just excellent field position.
I'm amazed. No flag on that play. It looked as though Alexander Adamson or whoever was lined up at the top of your screen was a good 2 to 3 yards in the backfield by the time the ball was snapped, well across the line of scrimmage. As a matter of fact, the referee reached for his flag when the ball was kicked.
We're going to take a tape change in just a moment here after this play, but right now it's 1st and 10. Wes Steed still the senior quarterback in the game. The give is to Moulton. Moulton down past the 40, 35, down almost to the 30-yard line. Strong running by Eric Moulton.
Actually, we may get Fairfield for unsportsmanlike piling on or some type of personal foul.
A late hit, maybe, Fred. Rodriguez Powell on the stop there, but maybe just a little bit late. We're going to pause for just a quick second and straighten this out and change out at the same time. We'll be right back. Back to live action after Fairfield takes a 15-yard penalty, personal foul, piling on. Guys are playing rough and tumble down there tonight. Fairfield with quite a number of penalties so far. At any rate, Homewood in excellent field position now inside the 20. The give to Davis goes to absolutely nowhere. Marcus Hudson making the stop for Fairfield.
There's a lot of talking going on the field right now, Barry. You see number 82 that time, Mark Hudson, with a few things to say to Robert Davis after dropping him for a loss. Homewood players so far not being pulled into that type of activity. Fairfield, though, doing a lot of talking on the field.
Line of scrimmage about the 16-yard line now after the loss of 1. Call it 2nd and 11. Here's the give. Here's the pass. A good fake. Darian Finley takes that in for a touchdown. Wes Steed really got socked that time, but His pass was complete to the sophomore fullback, Darian Finley, and Finley took it in and took it over for a touchdown with 1:44 remaining. Let's look at it again. Watch Wes Steed. He really gets along.
Yeah, they put Wes Steed on the ground, but Finley, in the meantime, has slipped out of the backfield without coverage, takes it in for another Homewood touchdown.
Darian kept driving right at the corner there, and he knew where that goal line was, too. And maybe his first score for the season.
I believe it is the first touchdown for Darian Finley, going for that pylon, not to be denied. Another touchdown for Homewood, making it 35. No.
Here's the boot by Wes Steed. It's good. Time is out. We're still in the first half, folks. 1:44 remaining, and Homewood takes a commanding 36-0 lead over the Fairfield Tigers. Good shot of some of the homecoming court representatives, I believe. If it's not members of the homecoming court, then that's the first young man wearing a boutonniere to a Friday night football game I've ever seen.
Since we were in high school.
Since I was in high school. That had to be a long, long time ago. We'll bring you some of that, the homecoming festivities during the halftime tonight, in addition to the performance by the band. While they get ready to kick it off again, we'll remind you that the high school girls volleyball team is now boasting a 22-3 record. Fred, they are an incredible volleyball machine at Homewood High School. They've won 18 matches in a row, and 22-3 is the record under the leadership of Susan Cook, who does a fine job with that girls volleyball team. Here's Wes Steed. Steed with a strong boot. Comes down. Again, I believe he reached up to try and catch that ball and run it back, and there was nothing to be done with it. He stepped into the end zone, and so the ball will be brought back to the 20-yard line.
That's got to be frustrating for an athlete like Van Sean Godwin. Westy simply continues to put the ball in the end zone and take away what might be one of the better offensive threats Fairfield has, their kick return team, because they are getting a lot of practice returning kicks tonight.
Denise Bailey there, one of the managers and trainers for the football team, is also a member of that girls volleyball team we talked about a minute ago. Interesting statistic, Wes Steed 4 for 8 on the night in the passing department for 98 yards and, most importantly, 2 touchdowns. So Wes having a good night tonight. Here's Fairfield, met head-on at the wall for no gain. Ball still on the 20-yard line. Strong hit by Dusty Smith.
Very, very good. Go ahead, Barry.
And Lee Thompson, I was going to say, Dusty and Lee really hit the ball carrier hard. And Eric Rebels, too.
If you get a chance to watch this replay again later in the week, watch the runner disappear into that pile of people and all of a sudden just stop. Rebels, Lee Thompson, and the rest of the defense simply put up a wall he ran right into.
Here's 2nd and 10 for Fairfield. The pitch, and it's a fumble in the Fairfield backfield. Homewood has recovered it. It's Dusty Smith, who's probably going to come up from the bottom of that pile.
Looks as though Dusty Smith is fighting it out with Michael Coggin to recover that ball. You see the two of them coming off field. Homewood, and here we go.
Replay.
Toss week number 20. Cornell Davis never gets the handle. And there you see Dusty Smith and Michael Coggin battling it out over that recovery.
Interestingly enough now, Henry Walburn is in at quarterback. Henry, the junior safety, but who sometimes plays at quarterback. Henry will look to pass, complete to Brian Greer inside the 5, brought down at about the 1. So with 34 seconds remaining in the half, it may be that the Patriots can score it again. Walburn, the quarterback, he's a junior, plays most of the time this year so far. We've seen him on defense instead of on offense.
Give Brian Greer some credit on that catch. Henry putting the ball a little lower than normal. Brian catching the ball with his hands, not against his body, going all the way to the 1-yard line.
Members of the homecoming court there. 19, 18 seconds, the clock running, time running out in the first half. I know they probably want to score. That'll stop the clock, but that's not the way we want to stop it, with flags flying. Have to see what the call is. The clock stops with 12 seconds. Illegal procedure is the call against Homewood, so that'll bring it back. That'll bring up first and goal from about the 6. The clock starts again at 9 seconds, 8 seconds, and Homewood now will take the timeout to get things organized to see what they're going to do with this last play from scrimmage. It's, I believe, only the 4th penalty that we've had, 35 yards in total penalties for Homewood so far in this game. I don't know what Fairfield's had, but it's substantially more than Homewood has had.
Several personal foul penalties for the Tigers. Of course, Homewood answered the best way you can answer with 2 more touchdowns.
That's a shot of West Steve that I don't like to see. Got something wrong with that first finger there.
Like
He's upset about it, too.
Index finger giving him some problems.
Looks like the pointer finger on his left hand.
He did take a very nasty shot on the rollout pass in the last series of downs. Could have been something he fell on, or possibly someone fell on his hand.
Okay, 7 seconds remaining in the half. 36-0 your score. Andrew Jeske in motion to the right. Walburn's the quarterback. Here's the pitch to Davis. Touchdown, Homewood. 4 seconds remaining in this half, and Homewood scores again to go up by a score of 42-0. A replay coming up.
The same play as
Auburn
the
takes
last series.
Quick pitch to Davis. Nothing doing, guys. Not even touched. Not even touched. So Homewood scores again with just 4 seconds remaining in the half. Looks like Kevin Miller is going to be in to attempt the extra point. Rebels will snap it. Greer will hold it. Miller is the sophomore punter and place kicker. Plenty of distance, and it's so accurate. 4 seconds remaining in the half. Time is out on the field, and Homewood takes a 43-0 lead over Fairfield. Taking a look at West Steed's finger on the sideline. Among those interested in it, Robert Davis.
We saw someone demonstrating what might have happened. If there's any good news about it, it's not his passing hand.
It is the pointer finger or the index finger on his left hand.
Could be a jam, could be a twist or something as far as the nails involved. If we don't want to speculate too much, we'll get some type of information for you at halftime. Bring that back to you.
So Kevin Miller now in the game to kick it for Homewood. There'll be just enough time to get this one kicked, and maybe one attempt at run back. Homewood kicks it on sides. Fairfield falls on the ball. They stop it with 1 second remaining. That's just time to set the chains, and then they'll start that clock again. As we go into halftime, Robert Davis has 142 yards rushing on 12 carries and 3 touchdowns. The team 191 yards of rushing offense on 17 carries. There's the horn ending the first half. Please stay tuned for the Homewood Patriot Band. Tremendous halftime performance in the homecoming court. Coming up, we'll be back after this from one of our sponsors, and we'll remind you that you're watching Homewood Patriots football.
Union State Bank, established in 1903, is proud to be a part of the Homewood community. We invite you to visit our office, conveniently located at 3026 Independence Drive, next to Piggly Wiggly in Homewood. Union State Bank is a full-service bank dedicated to providing friendly, quality banking services to our customers. A drive-through automated teller machine is available 24 hours a day at our Homewood office for your convenience. Union State also offers service charge-free checking to all high school and college students. Union State Bank, the bank you can make friends with.
When you think insurance, think Buddy Wade. Auto, home, business, life, or health, no matter what your insurance needs may be, Buddy Wade is your local State Farm agent with the insurance experience you want. From his office at the corner of Palisades Boulevard and Columbiana Road, Buddy has served Homewood and surrounding areas for over 15 years. When you think insurance, think experience. Think Buddy Wade. Come by and visit his office or call 942-4444.
group. Tonight's music begins with the highlights of Whiskey's Summer Music Spectacular, The Rocketeers. And now for the
Waldrop Stadium after a fine halftime performance and a fine first half of offensive performance by the Homewood Patriots. This is Barry Copeland back with Fred Morris. Our pleasure to bring you the second half of play. And Fred, if it's just like the first half, the score will be 86-0 at the end of the game.
It very well could be. A word from the sideline is this Homewood offense is ready to go back on the field in the third quarter. As we were talking about in the first half, a lot of talking between Fairfield players and Homewood. Come to find out some extracurricular activities going on in the field. Look for Homewood to stay with it, at least through the third quarter, put another couple of touchdowns on the board.
We have done our best to check on the physical condition of quarterback Wes Steed. Wes had his finger looked at, I think, by paramedics who are always here at every high school game. And it is I believe it's the ring finger or the index finger on his left hand. And it was cut, apparently, as it was caught up underneath Fairfield player's helmet.
Looks as though it might have been the touchdown pass to Darian Finley or one like it, where Wes was really leveled, and he was actually vulnerable as he threw the pass. Possibly that player, one like it, got the finger near a helmet, which at times can have some very sharp edges on them. Even though the coaches and the trainers and the schools trying to eliminate that problem, it does happen.
Homewood will kick from its own 25-yard line, penalized because of the length of the halftime performance. So we start a little bit in the hole as Kevin Miller puts his foot into it. Fairfield will take it in at about the 15-yard line as the second half gets underway. The run back stopped abruptly at about the 34-yard line, but suffice it to say that's good field position as far as Fairfield is concerned. It's the best start they've had so far this evening. We'll try to keep an eye open for you and see if we can spot Wes Steed on the sidelines, but I do not see him at this point. Well, yeah, I do, and he's got shoulder pads off. So Steed is out of the game for the evening, and it remains to be seen what exactly happens with that finger, but he's got a big bandage on it. Unlikely that we'll see him again, unlikely that we'll see Robert Davis again. Fairfield starts with a ball over left tackle, the gain for about 5, maybe 6 yards. Probably see, I would think, Fred, a lot of sophomores in the second half.
That's
sophomores,
right.
juniors, and some seniors maybe who don't get a chance to play that often.
Already in the game in the defensive secondary, number 40, Curtis Starks, in at a cornerback position. Also number 22 in the game, that's Martell Smith.
Really just too much of a risk of injury to probably have Robert Davis in there anymore. Certainly Wes Steed playing with the injury to his finger. You won't see that. We'll try to identify some of these players as you watch with us. Kip Cowan is number 66. 75 is Shane Davis. I see in the game Paul Owen, number 54. Also playing in the defensive backfield, Curtis Starks is number 40. Andrew Jeske is in there, one of the regulars, but Martell Smith playing at the right corner position. Smith wears number 22 for the Patriots. There you see Jonathan Hammaker, number 79, one of the starters. I believe Dusty Smith is still in on that defensive front four. Try to give you some stats in just a moment, but here's Fairfield again. The pass complete to Vanshawn Godwin, tackled hard at the 39-yard line, stopped by Darian Finley and also by Shane Davis. Finley, we've seen both ways tonight. Finley playing at the fullback position in front of Robert Davis, caught the pass from Wes Steed. As you look at Brian Greer, who probably won't see any more action tonight. And this time Finley playing in the linebacker position on defense. Time is out.
Like Fairfield taking a timeout to get their offensive signals straight. They come out the second half, run a couple of plays at center, and then tried to throw the same pass they threw to start the game, the little out pattern to one of their running back, I believe it was Vanshawn Godwin, taking the pass and dropping the ball on fumble, recovering his own fumble. We also have in the game again Robert Everhart back at quarterback, number 10 for the Tigers.
It's good to see him back. I'll tell you, with timeout, 9:43 remaining in the third quarter. They're taking time out on the field. We'll take time out here in the booth and let you hear from one of our sponsors. You're watching Homewood Patriot Football.
There are some important things I want to teach my son. common courtesy, saying thank you. And if Keith sees me treat people with respect, hopefully he'll believe that's just the way you're supposed to be.
Here's to Lisa Dawkins, M. South banker, who believes quality banking means remembering customers' name, smiling, and saying thank you. At M. South, you'll see it. Then you'll believe it.
Live action. Play in progress, and it's a good one. Homewood, a sack back at about the 31-yard line as Michael Coggin made the first hit on the quarterback Everhart for Fairfield. Shane Davis also in on the tackle. Best we can figure out, the injury was to the fingernail of Wes's left hand, left index finger. It may have been torn off, in fact. He went over to the paramedic van and got it taken care of. Better, I guess, than to have a broken finger, perhaps, or a dislocated finger. So hopefully he'll be back in playing form next week. Here's Finley. Darian Finley across the 25, fights his way down to about the 20. Strong running by the sophomore fullback. Finally stopped by the quarterback for Fairfield, Robert Everhart.
Interesting series for Fairfield, going for the first down on fourth down. Homewood taking over at the inside the Fairfield 30-yard line.
Well, I guess 43-0, what have you got to lose? Although you would think they would have punted it. Here's quarterback Henry Walburn on the give to, it looks like maybe Tamer Sabry. And Sabry met head-on in his own backfield, thrown finally for a loss back to about the 26 or 7-yard line. But they'll mark his forward progress at about the 23. Still, the loss of 3 brings up about second and 13 or a long 14 now. Once again, Henry Walburn is your quarterback. Wide receivers now are E.J. Steele and Jason Jones. Steele wearing number 8, split wide to the right. Jones wearing number 20, split wide to the left. Tamer Sabry is the tailback. Darian Finley, number 31, is the fullback. Henry Walburn, the junior quarterback, and his give is to the first man through, Finley, who fights across the 20 down to about the 19-yard line. 7:55, the clock running in the third quarter now. Left my copy of Gone with the Wind at home. Someone said I ought to bring a copy and read selected passages as the game slows down in the third and fourth quarter.
Henry Walburn doing a good job coming in, running this offense, getting some experience for next year. You see our courageous crew in the press box, high atop Walbert Stadium.
Here's Walburn on a 3rd and 10. The pitch is to Sabry. Sabry trying for running room out around the right side, gets across the 18, but that's about as far as it goes. Strong pursuit to the left end by the Fairfield Tigers. Good shot of, there's Fred standing up. Who's the guy next to me there with the, he's the one that's laughing. Whitten on the end. These are our spotters who tell us what we need to say, and we appreciate the help of Mike Whitten and Larry Wygand, and it wouldn't be the same without Danny Callies down on the sidelines. Keeps the stats for us. Speaking of which, we'll give you those first half stats in just a moment. I can tell you Homewood had 10 first downs to Fairfield's 2, and the rest of them are about that lopsided. Right up the middle to Darian Finley. Tries the left side of the line and finds maybe a yard or two. He's across the 15, but finally stopped by Robert Ghostin. That was a 4th down try by the Patriots. Falls far short. So Fairfield takes over on downs, and they'll mark the ball down at about their own, looks like their own 14-yard line. Again, Homewood with 10 first downs in the first half to Fairfield's 2. Homewood had 191 yards rushing. Fairfield had 17 yards rushing. For Homewood, 9 passes attempted, 5 completed, no interceptions for 112 yards. Fairfield passed the ball complete twice for only 12 yards. Back to action here as Everhart rolls to the right. He'll keep around the end, and the pitch back is a fumble. Looks like Fairfield may have recovered it out of bounds as one of the Homewood players tried to pick it up instead of falling on it. But still a loss back to inside the 10-yard line for Fairfield, and that backs them way up.
And I'm not sure about the rule in high school about advancing a fumble unless you catch it in the air. That time, it was one of the Homewood players attempting to pick the ball up rather than simply falling on it to recover the fumble. Fairfield retaining possession.
Fairfield now has -9 yards in the game as they try to mount that offense, but they just can't do it. Here around left end, the tailback brings it out for first down yardage and looks like more. Good running room for Fairfield out around the 20, but they'll call it out at about the 27 or 8 yard line now. Some of the players in the game for Homewood, Mark Scholl is in wearing number 50. The 66 jersey, as you know, is Kip Cowan. Number 80 in the game for Homewood is Anthony Webby. Also in the game, Tamer Sabry, as we mentioned. Paul Owen is number 54. 31 is Darian Finley, and number 72 is Adam Reeves. Some of those juniors, some sophomores, and some seniors. A good look during this second half at the Homewood team of years to come. Here's Fairfield's first down. The pitch back to 20. Cornell Davis, and he takes it out to about the 28-yard line. Run out of bounds by Curtis Starks.
Good play that time by Curtis Starks. Heading off Cornell Davis on the corner. Davis picking up good yardage. First down yardage around the left side. Now around the right side, picking up some yardage. Short gain that time. A lot of running sideways for a 2-yard gain.
Okay, second and about 9. Missed signals in the Fairfield backfield, and the play goes absolutely nowhere. The ball dead at about the 28 or 29-yard line. No gain, possibly a loss of a half a yard on the play. Kip Cowan right there in their face along with Tamer Sabry. Norma Harmon in the red there, Coach Rip Harmon's wife. Rip, we mentioned earlier on the special teams.
Ms. Harmon surely hoping for a fourth down. Some of Rip's boys getting some action on the special teams.
Fairfield to pass, and it's going to be intercepted by Michael Andrzejewski at the 40-yard line of the Tigers, and he takes it down inside the 25 to about the 22 or 23-yard line. That pass was thrown right into Michael's hands.
So we have one more flag down at about the 35-yard line. Barry, number 11 for Fairfield. Looks to be Philip Williams making a call, calling it against Homewood. We'll have to wait and see.
We've got it on an instant replay if you'd like to see it, Fred.
The ball just severely overthrown.
Yeah, way overthrown and right into Michael's hands. He takes it in at about the 42. Brings it back to about the 22. About a 20-yard return.
Ball intended for DeHaven Boone, but he was double covered. Michael Andrzejewski coming up with an interception, and now it looks as though we're going to mark off a penalty against Homewood. Clipping on the run back, it looks like.
Clipping on the run back against Homewood, so that brings it back to about the 42-yard line of Fairfield. Homewood will start first and 10 from there, but still, despite the penalty, still good field position. Here's first and 10. Henry Walburn is the quarterback. Sabry and Finley, the running backs. They give us to Tamer Sabry. Oh, met head on at the 44-yard line. Strong stop by Joe Coleman of Fairfield and others. Some of these sedate fans in the Homewood stands tonight. I think we may have some middle and possibly elementary school fans here tonight. Or isn't that the seniors?
There they are again. If you really want to see a crowd disperse, ask them how many of them have done their homework from Monday.
That's right. After the loss of 2, call it second now and a long 12. Walburn looks to throw. underthrown, flags are flying on the line of scrimmage. The intended receiver was number 20, Jason Jones, but the ball landed at his feet, and in the midst of the play, flags flew. So the going is slow here. The clock stops with 2:50 remaining in the third quarter, and there'll be another penalty marked off against Homewood for illegal procedure. I'll tell you, we're sort of relaxed, Fred, in this third and fourth quarter of this game with a 43-0 lead. It may be a little different next week as we travel up I-20 to Oxford. That's one I'm not looking forward to, and I know the coaches aren't either.
Well, it's actually going to be a very good test for this Patriot team. Not only a road game, but a road game well out of town. Oxford will, again, bring a good team to the match. Last year, a lot of people considered that a down year for Oxford. They came in here, I believe at the time, they were 2-4 when they came to Waldrop Stadium last year and went on to finish strong. They will field a strong team at Oxford on Friday night.
That's a tough away game, too. It's a big stadium, and they pack it full for a team like Homewood. Here's Walburn rolling left, throwing, just out of the end of the hands of Darian Finley. Finley was at about the 40-yard line. Henry throwing on the run, overthrew just a little bit, but Darian was all by himself.
Again, wide open, simply led just a little too much on the pass. But you've got to like the approach Henry Walburn in at quarterback, a lot of the second-line players in. But Coach Newton continues to run their offense, run the rollout passes, the bootlegs, the off tackles to Tamer Sabry. Also, Darian Finley picks up good yardage over center. So they're continuing to stick with their offensive philosophy.
Well, the second punting opportunity for Homewood on the evening. Kevin Miller in to do the punting honors. Fairfield sends its receiver deep back to about the 22-yard line. A high pass from center, but Kevin gets it underway. Fair catch called for at the 20. And the ball will roll dead inside the 10 at about the 8-yard line. Excellent coverage by the kicking team, finally down by Darian Finley. So a good punt for Kevin Miller. We'll get the yardage for you in just a second. And Homewood again with that special team playing to full potential, downs the ball inside the 10-yard line.
You got to wonder, Fairfield lost about 10 to 15 yards that time. The deep receiver was in position to make a fair catch. For some reason, possibly losing the ball in the lights, got out of the way, and the ball rolled an extra 10 to 15 yards. Now Fairfield, again, deep in the hole at their own 9-yard line.
A 40-yard punt by the sophomore Kevin Miller puts Fairfield in business at about the 8.5-yard line. So they're deep in their own territory with 1:11 remaining in the third quarter. They try to get some offense going. Quarterback keeper by Everhart, and he's out across the 10, maybe the 11 or 12-yard line. Paul Owen on that stop, among others. Owen playing at a defensive end position. Reminder that the folks who put this picture on the air for you are important as well, and our producer is Dudley Hindman. Jack Munger, Wes Gray, and Dave Rothoff on camera work for you tonight. I'm told Dave is not here tonight. Who's on the other camera, guys? Butch Houston is on the other camera. We appreciate that tonight. Winding down in the third quarter with 20 seconds remaining. There's a good shot of Butch.
Crowd, a very good crowd still on hand as we wrap up the third quarter of this Fairfield Homewood game.
Well, time has expired in the third quarter. We're going to take a pause for just a minute. Let you hear from one of our sponsors as we all rise to observe the lowering of the colors. It's been a strong offensive performance for Homewood so far, and at this point in the game, they lead 43-0. We're back after this from one of our sponsors. We'll remind you you're watching Homewood Patriot football.
It's Piggly Wiggly Food Stores for quality foods, friendly service, and fair prices. You'll find a wide selection of the freshest seasonal produce brought in daily, and the finest heavy Western USDA choice beef, and of course, plump, fresh-cut chickens never frozen. And Piggly Wiggly serves hot, fresh deli foods of the finest quality served up daily. the next best thing to home cooking. And Piggly Wiggly food stores are proud of our friendly people serving your needs in Mountain Brook, Homewood. It's Piggly Wiggly, the finest food stores around.
Well, there we are, pausing just a moment for the lowering of the colors. What a first three quarters it's been. 43-0 is the score from here in Homewood. Sort of anticlimactic at this point. But a strong offensive performance by the Patriots. And again, as in most of the other games all of the other games we've played this year, tremendous opportunity for sophomores and juniors to get some playing time because there is quite a building job ahead for Coach Gerald Gann and his staff at Homewood next year as he loses a heck of a lot of seniors off this fine Patriot squad.
There certainly is, and as you said, nothing new so far this year. The same story, a huge first half lead. Get those frontliners out to avoid injuries and get some experience for these juniors and sophomores. Next year we'll graduate guys like Lee Thompson and Eric Rebels and Michael Coggin, a lot of those interior guys, and they're going to need some men to step in and fill those big shoes. And this is an excellent way to get that experience for these young guys.
Well, as Fairfield tries to work from down inside its own 15-yard line, I'd say you're absolutely right, Fred. There's going to be some tremendous opportunities in the coming year. But they also have an advantage that a lot of teams don't have, and that is sophomores playing almost as much time as starters for an entire season. That's very unusual.
And they continue, and in a case like right now, these are sophomores and juniors, a lot of them, and they're playing the frontline players for Fairfield. See some of our crack cameramen bringing these shots to you.
Fairfield going for it on fourth down. Looks like they've got first down yardage and maybe a little bit more. But again, Fairfield going on it with 4th and 1 from within its own 20. Nothing to lose, really. Down 43-0.
Not at all. As we were saying, these are still sophomores and juniors playing the frontline players for Fairfield as they've done against Irwin, as they've done against Mountain Brook and the other teams Homewood has played. They have fairly well held their own against what's still the first team of the other opponents.
Here's Everhart on the give to the first man through. That's Abernathy. Fumble, and it looks like Homewood may have fallen on it. Homewood ball at the 25-yard line. Tamer Sabry came up with the ball for the Patriots. So they're in business deep inside Fairfield territory. Reggie Lias will be the quarterback. Reggie wears number 10. We saw Reggie taking snaps from Paul Owen on the sideline a few minutes ago. So Reggie will work now. Some new players in the game. Kevin Harris is in the game. E.J. Steele is in the game. E.J. plays at a wide receiver position. He's split wide to the right. Here's Reggie Lias on the give to I believe it was Martell Smith or Ahim Sabry. Ahim Sabry playing in the tailback position now, number 42. Sabry playing behind the blocking of Darian Finley. Also in the game for Homewood, Tommy Lias, Reggie Lias' brother. Sabry, as we mentioned, and also Michael Narrow in the game for the first time tonight.
Again, Homewood continuing to play the entire second half on the Fairfield end of the field. Both teams going for it on fourth down. Only one punt, I believe, in the second half. And very little change in field position. They both seem to be just pushing on each other somewhat, with Homewood getting the better of it.
And also, I believe Fairfield's only the fourth first down for Fairfield. Here's Reggie Lias to throw, intercepted by Rodney Abernathy. Abernathy has a sideline. Let's see if we've got a block. The tackle by Ahim Sabry at the 28-yard line, but not before Abernathy makes a fine run on the intercepted pass. And Fairfield with something cooking on the stove now with 9:34 remaining in the game.
Just inexperience on the part of Reggie Lias that time. Number 21, Rodney Abernathy, simply laying in wait for that pass. saw it develop and was in the right place at the right time. Took it back to the Homewood, looks to be the Homewood 28-yard line.
Into the game for Homewood, 61 is Clay Keith. Also number 40, Curtis Starks. Carter Shanklin into the game, and also Dennis Rowe for the first time tonight. Dennis wearing number 3. Fairfield will still try to run it as Rowe makes the stop just across the line of scrimmage. Call it now about the 25-yard line. 9:13 remaining in the football game. Good opportunity to tell you the names of some of our cheerleaders, and we'll get those in over the next couple of plays. Good shot of the line of scrimmage. Everhart looks to throw, pressured, nailed. Looks like Carter Shanklin on a big sack for the Homewood defense, and also Sean Shiplett.
Watch it again as Everhart comes out on the option play, coming out and looks as though he was ready to pitch, but Carter Shanklin would have none of it. Loss of yardage. Homewood taking Fairfield the other direction.
Well, time is out on the field. Coach Mike Thorson wants to talk to that Homewood squad. Guys, give me a shot of the cheerleaders, and we'll tell them the names of some of the girls who keep the spirit going. The head cheerleader is Jenny Crumpton this year. This is the 91 squad we're talking about. And other cheerleaders are Melissa Boren, Keisha Cole, Allison Grizzle, Jennifer Harris, Julie Hembry, Allison Leggett, Amanda Cook, Casey Kirby, Arlene Moniz, Jessica Oakes, and Jennifer Ponder.
You see the JV cheerleaders joining them for tonight's homecoming game. Giving them a little extra assistance.
A little oomph, a little spirit. There's a lot of them down there.
Sure are.
Well, they do a good job keeping the crowd in the game. There's a shot of that bandage on West Steves. It is his index finger. Hopefully he'll be back in playing form next week for Oxford.
Well, it's much better, as you said, that it's not a broken bone or a fracture of some kind. It's something they can bandage, and fortunately it's not on his throwing hand.
Here's Fairfield looking to get something started. Everhart, the quarterback, struggles at the 28-yard line, finally dragged down by Mark Scholl. They just can't make it happen tonight. Brings up 4th and 11 for the Tigers, and I would assume they would go for it.
Well, this Homewood defense, even the second team defense, they've been in this position before with previous games. Mountain Brook, Irwin, a lot of these other teams have driven down the field on them late in the game, and on a couple of occasions they have given up some late touchdowns. I think that has possibly served to strengthen them now as they continue to fight this Fairfield offense very, very tough.
Abernathy and Davis are the setbacks, but here's Everhart dropping to throw. It's complete to Abernathy, to Vanshawn Godwin. He takes it inside the 20 to about the 17 or 16-yard line, but I don't believe it's going to be enough for a first down. We'll have to see. It's close.
So we have an injured player and another penalty flag on the field, Barry.
And we do have a player on the field, and you see the flag there in front. Looks like Clay Keith, sophomore linebacker. But Clay is sitting up, and hopefully he'll be all right.
Again, Fairfield going with the swing pass that time to Vanshawn Godwin, taking it in the flat and coming back across field, setting up his blocking that time by the offensive lineman coming out to give him a hand, catching some of these Patriots in a pursuit mode. That time, it was like Clay Keith got caught up in one of the blocks. It was a blindside block, or maybe never saw the offensive lineman coming at him. It looks as though it's a leg injury, and hopefully we can only hope it's not serious.
Well, I'll tell you, with timeout on the field, we're going to take timeout too and let you hear from one of our sponsors. We'll be back in just a moment and remind you that you're watching Homewood Patriot football.
I'm a banker. but some of my best work is done before I even get to work in the morning. It's easy to see your customers from 9 to 5, but I believe you have to be more flexible than that, even if it means meeting them at 5:30 in the morning.
Here's to Evans Quinlivan, AmSouth banker, who believes quality banking means extended banking hours and going the extra mile for the customer. At AmSouth, you'll see it. Then you'll believe it.
Right, you know when you feel it, baby. You hold it, you hear it, you taste it, it's right. You got the right one, baby. Is this irrepressibly lovable, unsurpassably quotable, and intimately soulful? You got the right one, baby.
With 100% NutraSweet.
Well, what do you know? We're back. Let me do my imitation of an alarm clock and wake everybody up here. Oh my goodness! After that pregnant pause, we're back. Here we go. Let's see if we can set the scene for you. 7:41 remaining in the football game. Fairfield with the ball. Everhart the quarterback. The line of scrimmage inside the 10. Homewood poised to try and keep the Fairfield scoreless. On the reverse, nobody out there to stop him. And Fairfield scores. DeHaven Boone on the reverse and the end around.
Whoa, what a hit. What a hit on DeHaven Boone. Sandwich between two Homewood Patriots. Looks as though he might have had the wind knocked out of him because he took a shot. I don't have the numbers. It looks as though it might have been number 7, Andrew Jeske, and number 2, Henry Walburn.
Either 2 or 22. I'm not sure about the number.
22, make that Martell Smith.
Martell Smith, I believe, was also in on that hit. Hard hit. And now we have another player down. That's DeHaven Boone. Boone scored the touchdown. Fairfield on the board at 7:26 remaining in the game with 6 points. But oh, what a hard hit. The long pause that we had was while Clay Keith was attended to and taken off the field. Clay is a sophomore for Homewood. And I believe what we've heard is that he has a broken leg. And it must have been, Fred, pretty obvious from the very start because, again, when Coach Penley went out on the field, he almost immediately raised his hand and signaled for the stretcher. So it was visibly, I would guess, noticeably broken.
On the play, Clay Keith pursuing LaShawn Godwin on the previous play prior to the touchdown, a swing pass. Godwin cut back across the field, which simply set up the blocks for his offensive lineman, and someone got a good shot in on Clay Keith, unfortunately knocking him out with an injured leg.
Okay, here's Fairfield with the try for the extra point. They'll go for 2. Everhart will drop straight back to pass, floats it into the end zone, complete and good for the 2-point conversion to Philip Williams, their number 11. So, 7:26 is the time remaining in the football game, and it seems, Fred, like it's been there forever. But with the clock stopped at 7:26 in the fourth quarter, 43-8 is the score. The Patriots still hold a commanding lead over the Fairfield Tigers. Just a note that we noted the ambulance has left, and that had Clay Keith in it, so he's headed for X-ray land probably, and hope that break on his leg is not a severe one and that it heals quickly.
Coach Rip Harmon out on the field right now directing his special teams as they replace some regulars and bring in some replacements, some substitutes for the special teams. Of course, deep, it looks like we have Elvin Skipper, Brian Greer, and in the center of the field, Robert Davis deep for this kickoff. Generally, the coaches aren't expecting a very deep kick from Fairfield.
Well, it's interesting that our starters are deep back. That's Elvin Skipper on this side, Brian Greer on the far side. You can't see them on the screen, but Robert Davis is right there in the middle. There's a shot of him, and he's ready to accept the kick.
Of course, the last kickoff from Fairfield went about 15 yards, so maybe a little too deep.
An onside kick straight into the hands of, let's see who that was. Looked like Mark Scholl, maybe number 50, who fell straight on it. Interesting point made a little while ago. That 2-point conversion for Fairfield could be critical if they just score 5 more times in the last 7 minutes and 23 seconds.
Sure, their coaches on the sidelines are telling their players they've got Homewood right where they want them now.
Yeah, we've got them pinched now, fellas. Corky Alexander, the quarterback for Homewood, as Homewood tries another sophomore quarterback. Alexander on the give straight through to Tommy Lias. Lias, number 41, playing in the fullback position. 42, A.M. Sabry is playing in the tailback position. And again, Corky Alexander, the sophomore quarterback now. So we've seen Wes Steed tonight, Henry Walburn, Reggie Lias, and now Corky Alexander in at quarterback, and just a whole fleet of fullbacks and tailbacks.
With the offense that Homewood runs, the quarterback is a critical position. Of course, next year, Robert Davis, the senior this year, will not be back. So the quarterback becomes even more critical due to the number of things they can do. The bootleg pass, handing the ball off, fullback, tailback, the pitch sweep, toss sweep, look-in passes, so many things. A good, solid quarterback is critical, especially in a year like next year where you'll be replacing quite a few players.
A.M. Sabry on that run. Also might mention that into the game now for Homewood are Zach Kamak and Joel Maxwell, both at wide receiver positions. Down a distance now, third and about 6, third and a long 5 perhaps for the Patriots as this team mostly comprised of sophomores now tries to get something going. Clock moving with 5:45 remaining in the football game. Here's Alexander on the pitch to Sabry. Sabry dives through 45, maybe 44, 43-yard line. Good strong run by Ahim Sabry, that Tamer Sabry's younger brother. Tamer is a senior this year, and Ahim is a sophomore.
Good blocks that time at the point of attack. Number 68 that time, that's Michael Narrow, a good block at the point of attack.
Alexander gets the call from the sidelines. 4th and about 3. They'll go for it at the Fairfield 44. Here's Alexander on a quick snap give to the fullback. I believe the ball was blown dead at the 46-yard line before the fumble. Tough going against the Fairfield starters, though. And so Fairfield will take over on downs at their own 45-yard line. Fairfield bringing all defensive players that time. No safeties in the backfield. Everybody up on the line, and they successfully stopped the 4th and 3.
I think the Fairfield coaches guessed right, really not expecting Homewood to throw it all, leading 43-8. It's like Homewood's going to take a timeout, let Coach Thorson set his defense.
Game for the Patriots now, number 65, Brad Gerard, and also 47, Ryan Wharton. As Fairfield moves 1st and 10, the ball just shy of their own 45-yard line. Quarterback drops a little screen pass out into the right flat. Van Sean Godwin still moving across the 50 to maybe the 48-yard line. Stopped by Dennis Rowe for Homewood. Absolutely not. Now calling the defensive signals for the Patriots is Anthony Webby, number 80. Here's 2nd and about 5 for the Tigers of Fairfield. Zach Humphrey looks to pass deep. Incomplete down at about the 12-yard line. Reggie Lias, who has been playing some at quarterback, and Curtis Starks defending on the play. Double coverage down there on the intended receiver, who is number 20, Cornell Davis, for the Tigers. That stops the clock with 3:45 remaining in the game. Well, one thing good about a 43-8 game, there won't be much of a traffic jam on the way out of the stadium tonight because a lot of the folks have gone already. Fairfield didn't bring that many to begin with. So traffic shouldn't be a problem.
It looks as though quite a few of them have shown up since halftime, though. The crowd seemed a little fuller since the halftime.
3rd and 5 now for the Tigers. The ball just across the 50 into Patriot territory. Humphrey will pass. Oh, he had a receiver, and the receiver didn't know it. Flag down at about the Homewood 46-yard line. So we'll have to see what the call is. Cornell Davis really was wide open, but his head was down, and he was running straight ahead. He never saw the ball.
In the seam of the zone, looking at possibly who was going to be hitting him. Andrew Jeske still back, or make that Reggie Lyons back in the safety position. Eugene Stark in the corner position, and
so the signal, yeah, there's a good look at the stands. I think those of us in the press box outnumber those in the stands. The defensive signal for us. So the step off will go against Fairfield. 5 yards, ineligible receiver downfield. That'll bring up 3rd and long, 3rd and more than 9, 3rd and almost 10 for the Tigers. Here's Humphrey. Humphrey will pass. Underthrown at the 50-yard line. And retain here as the clock shows 3:35 remaining in the ball game. Here's Humphrey. Whoa! Good tackle in the backfield by number 84 for Homewood, Eric Atkins. Atkins in the game, and that time in the backfield of the Fairfield Tigers. So that stopped short on a 4th and long, and the ball goes over on down. Corky Alexander, the quarterback for the Patriots. Here's the give to Ahim Savory, the second man through. He breaks across the 40 to about the 39-yard line. There are numbers to call out. I believe he's played every player tonight. If there's one that we've missed, we apologize, but I believe Coach Cannon's played every player tonight. A rare opportunity in high school football.
Rare opportunity, but it's made possible by all the hard work these guys went through back in August. In the off-season program also, Coach Gann working them through the off-season, through spring,